Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Euros Weekly. This is a brand new show brought to you by UCFB Global Institute students and alumni. This week, we are joined by Jack Bibb from Archball UK. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Antonio Scicchitano. I hope I've said that right.
Yeah, you pronounce my surname better than my own, so really well done. Yeah, it's good to see you.
You too. And we've got Samantha Richards, or Sam, as she prefers to be called, who is a journalism student at UCFB Wembley. In today's episode, we'll be looking at England's opening game versus Croatia, gathering all of Antonio's thoughts over Italy's win over Turkey, and previewing our amazing upcoming big fixture on Friday against Scotland. So let's not waste any more time. How was everyone's weekend? Antonio, I'll start with you. You had the opening game on Friday. What a game it was as well, by the way. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I'm living in a dream. So I'm really happy because it was an amazing start. Obviously, it was an easy match, so Italy needs to stay on focus because the match started with a lucky goal, and then the third goal was made by a mistake. But for this, I'm absolutely fine, absolutely happy. It was the best start that I could dream. So I'm really happy with the start. It was an amazing weekend.
It was.
Yeah.
Jack, how about you? How was your weekend? Especially it's Sunday. I can see you repping your England top there.
Yeah.
How the weather was out. England won. Could it have got any better?
No, not really. I mean, England win was perfect. As you say, it was sunny weather, so it was a great day at Wembley. The atmosphere around here was exceptional. It was something we haven't had in a year really since COVID. So it was a great day, topped off by an England win. So perfect for me.
Brilliant. And same for you, Sam. Good weekend, I imagine.
Yeah, it was obviously very hot, and yeah, on the pitch we were causing mayhem from the get-go, so I was loving it. I was watching it from my mum got like a blow-up hot tub, so I was watching it from there, living the dream. So yeah.
Good. Well, unfortunately, I was in isolation for it on Sunday, so I was stuck on my balcony, so no hot tub for me. But I'll be out and about for the game on Friday, don't worry. Look, guys, I just want to start with the lineup for the England game. Okay, I think there was a leaked one that came out a few hours before, and there was a lot of reaction on Twitter to the team. We obviously saw Kieran Trippier in a left back position when he's a right back. Sterling started, which a lot of people weren't sure about, and no Jack Grealish as well. So I'll come to you, Jack, and get your thoughts on going into the game. How confident were you when you saw that starting lineup?
I think, as England fans, we all like to think we're our own Gareth Southgate and we can all pick our own teams. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether you do or don't agree with it, I think a win's a win, and that's you can't argue with that. Obviously, we'd have liked to seen Jack Grealish, players like that, maybe Marcus Rashford starting. But to the praise of Kieran Trippier and Calvin Phillips, I think were the most criticised players. Calvin Phillips was man of the match. Kieran Trippier did his job, kept the Croatia attack quiet. So I don't think we can be mad at it at all.
And Sam, speaking of Calvin Phillips, he was definitely my man of the match as well. He was playing alongside Declan Rice in that triangle in midfield. Do you think going into the Scotland game, that is sort of what we should be now building our team around, is those two starting in that midfield? They looked really good, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a lot of questions whether Phillips should be playing, full stop. And I think he definitely proved himself, and especially a lot of the young players. There's been loads of questions around our squad being so young, but I really think that's a positive. I mean, I was watching the reflections of the game on Sunday, and one of the pundits said that, they've faced a lot of criticism for the young squad, but actually on the flip side, it can be a good thing because none of these young players have been scarred by past tournaments. So I can only think good of the team being so young, and they're so creative. And that's one thing that, these young players bring bring into the game, and they've got a point to prove against all the haters and all the fans that don't think they've got enough experience. But players like the ones you just said, they're coming into the game and they're showing their worth, and that they should be a starting player.
And Antonio, I'd like to get your view on this, because as a fan of an opposing country, when you look at this England team, do you feel, if Italy were to face England, would you feel scared by the calibre of players that England possess?
Absolutely, because England is a solid team, so they know what they're doing, and they played a very good match. And I think then one goal is not enough for the performance of England. Sterling made an amazing goal so quick, and all the team played very well. So yeah, I hope that Italy will go through so far, and I hope that England will be not our first big opponent.
Looking at the formation as well, there's been a lot of speculation over the last few months whether Gareth was going to go with a 5 or 3 at the back, or a 4. So we went with the 4, and not that England were challenged too much anyway at the back. It still looked good, and that was with Kieran Trippier playing as a left back. Jack, is that something that you want to see going forward, this 4 at the back? Obviously, we might see Maguire come back, which might even strengthen it up even more, play Shaw at the back, which is a natural left-sided left back. What are your thoughts about that formation?
I'd definitely like to see 4 at the back continue, purely because playing a 5 at the back would just reduce the amount of options we can have up front. And as we all know, our attacking talent is just ridiculous. So if we did go 5 at the back, it'd mean that probably 2 or 3 of Grealish, Foden, Rashford, Sancho, all those types of players would miss out. I mean, Sancho missed out yesterday anyway on the matchday squad. So you'd probably be knocking off another one if we did go to the 5 at the back. 4 at the back, 3 midfield, 3 at front. Yeah, 4-3-3 is our best formation, probably, with Mason Mount floating between midfield and attack. It gives us really good fluidity when we're attacking, and I think for the attacking personnel we have, it's essential we play that. Yeah.
Just want to touch on that attacking personnel. Now, I'm a Tottenham fan myself, so it does pain me to say this, but Harry Kane didn't have his best game yesterday. Look, he was still very influential in the goal, with dragging the defenders out to create the space for Sterling. But, we probably expect a bit more from Harry Kane, especially when we were on the front foot for so much of the game. You'd expect at least maybe a goal or, something a bit more than that. Sam, do you think that it was just him warming into the competition? Do you think, come Friday, we'll really see him kick into gear? I mean, he's probably one of the favourites, if not the favourite, for the Golden Boot. Was it just a bit of an off day for him?
Yeah, I must say I'm a bit of an Arsenal fan myself. But definitely, I think he's just warming into the competition. Like, it's such a long competition, and I think Southgate receives so much stick for who he's starting on the pitch, but it's such a long tournament, and the different games require a different style of a player for the team. So I don't necessarily think he was, off of his game. As you said, he provided so much space for Sterling and Foden as well, getting in on the action. So I think he's just warming into the game and, giving them younger players, or the players who, for example, haven't necessarily had their best season at the club, to almost get that creativity back and to feel the confidence a bit. But I definitely think come Friday, fingers crossed, I'll be liking Harry Kane a bit more than I normally do in a season type of way.
Yeah, and I think on the other side, this match demonstrates that Harry Kane is not the only man or player that could be dangerous. So this is a useful information. I totally agree with the other person on this call. So Harry Kane probably will demonstrate his value, because he's one of the most amazing player of this time. But yeah, on another side, I think that England understand that if they don't have Harry Kane, they can play with other player, and this is a good information.
100%. The depth in the squad, this tournament.
The depth in the squad, yeah.
Incredible. Like you said, Jack, we didn't even see sort of Sancho yesterday. We're blessed, I think, this tournament. Coming back to you, Antonio, just to touch on Italy and your game on Friday. Like I said, great opening game, and it was comfortable. It was really comfortable for you guys.
Well,
Turkey did well to hold you back for so long, but once that first goal went in, couldn't stop.
Yeah, everything will be easy. I just saw the all the data from the match, and we had 64% of possession, 24 shot, 8 on target. So it was a massive match, super positive for Italy. And I was a little bit scared because first match of the competition, first before a year and a half of trouble, so a lot of anxiety, pressure, and sometimes the Euro Championship is a really strange competition because in the past we had some really valuable player in Italy that this type of competition they didn't do nothing because the pressure, the anxiety is an international situation, so it's really strange. But yeah, absolutely the best start that we can have. Absolutely agree.
There were some stand-up performances from your guys. I just want to know who your man of the match was for that game.
For me, the man of the match was Spinazzola, because Spinazzola on the left and then on the right Berardi as well. They was astonishing. They break the defense and create a lot of playing. And with Insigne and Immobile, there are players that they are really fast. We can have a serious attacking phase. The things that I like the most of the match of Friday is that after the mistake of the goalkeeper on the third goal, in just 7 seconds, we had 4 players in the attacking box. So this was a good reaction. So speed, mentality, approach, that's the thing. It's not about the goal. It's the fact that after the mistakes of the goalkeeper, there was a big mistake. So unexpected. In 7 seconds, 4 players in the box. That's the big information about Friday.
Yeah, Turkey really did struggle to get out and definitely started to look a bit leggy towards the last 20 minutes. So looking at our groups then, we've obviously won both of our opening games. Sam, I'll come to you. Do you think sort of the odds are with us now to win the group? We know that the route is going to be tougher if we win the group, but we just want to win games. So do you think the likelihood of England winning the group is, probably cemented now? What's your thoughts?
I've got full confidence in the boys. I don't normally say that when it comes to any team in football, but when they stepped out in Wembley against Croatia, they had a choice. They could feel the fear of losing again because of what happened in Russia, or they could prove their points and, show the nation and the rest of the world that, this year, yes, we've got a young squad, but we are a threat, and it's going to be one of the biggest threats that we've ever been so far in a major tournament. And I think, this tournament's unlike any other because of COVID, unlike any other because it's being held in so many different countries and cities. And I think that's one thing to be so, so proud of. And I think it's going to make the players more motivated and be more inspired because all of their group games are on home soil. So they're going to have the home fans behind them. And, as an England fan, I'm definitely backing them all the way to succeed in the group.
Like you said, home advantage. The game on Friday is at Wembley. It's a huge game, one of the oldest international fixtures. And there is a home advantage. We have the fans. Jack, what's your thoughts going into this game? Do you think people have maybe underestimated Scotland a little bit because it's been so long since they've been in a major international tournament?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Definitely underestimated in terms of what team they do have. They do have a great team, lots of Premier League experience, and Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay, Kieran Tierney, and even John McGinn from Aston Villa. So they've got a great team. But I think Scotland's main asset is their hunger. I think after 23 years of not playing in this competition, they're hungry as ever to just do right by their fans and make them proud. So I think the game on Friday, on paper, England should win it, but I think it will certainly be a really tough game. Scotland be right up for it. Would love to beat England at Wembley. It'd be such a great moment for them. So don't underestimate them completely, but I think England have the tools to get the job done on Friday.
And Antonio, just from an outside perspective, if you look at Group D and who is in it, England, Croatia, Scotland, and Czech Republic, who do you see making it out of that group?
I think England. Obviously, as Jack said, the Euro Championship is a really strange competition, so you need to keep your attention really, really high, because if you underestimate some team, you can be smashed. And maybe if you are smashed by someone that has a lower team than you can go stress, anxiety, and step by step the situation can go worse. So that's what I think for England, and that's what I think for my team as well. We are on the paper, we are an easy group, but we need to be focused. And the thing about playing on an easy group, it's good on a side because you can go easily to the next stage, but on the other side, where you arrive on the next stage, and maybe when you'll meet England or France, you can struggle, because this will be your first big team in the competition. So I'm happy with our group. Italy needs to be absolutely focused on this group and the next stage. Yeah.
I wanted to touch on with you, because we've spoken about, a lot of an experience in our English side. We've got a lot of young players, and like Sam said, it could be a good thing. I wanted just your thoughts on Chiellini and what sort of experience a player like that can bring to a squad of players in an international tournament. He was great on Friday.
I was very synthetic. Come on, Chiellini. No, seriously. Honestly, I was a little bit worried about Bonucci and Chiellini, because they are massive player, a lot of experience, but they are not so young. So I suppose for Italy, defense is a very important phase, because we start from the defense. But Chiellini absolutely smashed the match, and he go really, really close to make the goal. So Chiellini was superb, and Bonucci as well. So if we continue in these ways, we have a strong defense with men of experience. We have a fast player on the left, So I'm absolutely in love with this team, and what a player! No, yeah, absolutely, agree.
How Antonio just acted towards Chiellini then. Sam, have you got a player in the England team right now that makes you feel that way, and who is it?
Obviously, being an Arsenal fan, mine would have to go to Saka.
Someone who plays, Sam. Someone who
He's definitely my favourite, full stop, because, he's just so creative on the ball. And I remember seeing his debut, and obviously being an Arsenal fan, I watched him and I just looked at him and I was like, wow, he is going places. And, now look at him. He's on one of the biggest stage. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to see him shine. Other than that, I'm looking forward to see Foden as well, and Reece James, just because of how creative they are on the ball, and being so young at this stage is only going to do them better, because they've got so much confidence about them and so much flair. And I just want to see how many, nutmegs they can get and what skills they can show off, and just be in complete awe of them when they're on the screen.
Yeah, it pains me to say, but I wasn't sure whether Saka would get the call up, but it's his sheer versatility, isn't it? He can play anywhere, and wherever you put him, he smashes it. So, yeah, I can understand your excitement there. We obviously spoke about Reece James, and Kyle Walker. He didn't have the best of games on Sunday. He was a bit shaky. He made some stray passes. Jack, would you like to see Reece James, or even maybe Trippier, come over to that side and play in that right back position on Friday, or do you think we should stick with Kyle Walker?
It's a tough one, because I do really like Reece James. I think he's a really good player, and I think when that whole debate about England's right back was going on, unfortunately Trent was then injured, but I think Reece James is, out of all those four, including Trippier, he's the most well-rounded. I think his time playing in midfield for Chelsea's academy served him well in terms of how good he is on the ball, but he's then also got that defensive awareness as well. But I'd stick with Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker's like Chiellini for Antonio. He gives us that experience. We only have 3 players in the England squad that are over 30. Trippier, Walker being 2 of those at right back. But I think Walker's best asset is his pace. I think his recovery pace is so good, and I think it will serve better when we hopefully face France and potentially Mbappe on the left. I think that's going to be such a good thing for us to cope with Mbappe. But I think you could go with anyone against Scotland. But for me, I wouldn't change your winning side. I don't think you need to necessarily. Maybe chuck a couple players in like Grealish to experiment. But as much as I'd love to see Reece James, I'd probably stick with Kyle Walker for now.
I was just going to mention that actually, you know, people were screaming out for Grealish and we didn't get him. Would you, you know, I know you said you stick with the winning side, but if you were to make any changes for the game against Scotland, who would you really like to see come in and who would you leave out?
Well, I think if Grealish came in, then he'd probably come in where Raheem Sterling was playing. But I think Raheem Sterling got the goal of the day, played well for the majority, and I think it'd be really harsh to drop him. So that's for that reason. I think if we do see Grealish, I think it'll more likely be off the bench at some point in the second half. I don't see him replacing Mount in that sort of number 10 role. Mount was exceptional the other day, and Foden was also very good as well. He hit the post early on and caused problems all game. So I think as much as I'd love to see Grealish, I'd definitely have him in my starting England 11. I don't think it'd be really harsh to take that spot off any of those three that I've just mentioned. So yeah,
definitely. And for you, Antonio, for your next game, are you confident with the team that you put out against Turkey? Would you make any changes, or are you happy?
We have a funny way of saying about these things in Italy, and that's if you win, you don't change the team. So a winning team, you don't want to change a winning team. So I think that obviously this was an easy match, and we don't need to underestimate everything. So I think that the next match against Switzerland could be a good option to see if the team, this formation could have the same high level of performance. So I will stick with that on the second match, the next match, and then I will make some changes just to recharge the batteries, for example. So if we win the next match, we have a good amount of points, and we can be confident from the next phase. So I could give another chance to this formation, and I will do some changes on the third match just to recharge the batteries.
And I know you guys are all studying Wembley. I actually didn't go to Wembley myself, but are any of you currently at the minute living there? If so, what is the book like around the area?
So I normally live in there, and the atmosphere around Wembley will literally leave you speechless. Walking down Wembley Way, you know, hearing the songs, hearing the chants, literally seeing a swarm of shirts. As football fans, these are the moments that you live for, you know, these big major competitions and being around that. Unfortunately, I haven't got any tickets, but just the atmosphere adds to, you know, it gives you goosebumps. It adds to the team's motivation because they know Wembley Stadium and how it works with the Euros now. So I think when it comes to the game on Friday, I think that may make a slight difference when it comes to Scotland.
I haven't, you haven't been prepared with this. I'm just going to hit you with this now. So you've got no time to think. I want each of your predictions for a few things.
I've done a few of these on various different platforms. And I think on all of them, I've gone with England. Whether that's bias, whether that's, the England fan of me talking. I do think we can win it. I think maybe the squad that played yesterday isn't the starting lineup that will win it. I still think that there is a couple of changes needed to that squad. I think other teams, France, obviously, are probably the outright favourites, being the world champions at the moment. But I will go with England, and I'll back us to bring it home this summer. Yeah.
Love that. What about you, Sam? Same?
Yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home. I'll have to go with England as well. I feel like there's something different about this tournament. I mean, I say that every 2 years when it's the Euros or the World Cup, but I really do believe it this time because of the squad he's chosen and because how young they are. And as I said earlier, they haven't been scarred by previous tournaments. They're not scared to come in and show their creative side. I really do think they're such a confident squad at the minute. So I'll have to go with England. My second team will probably be Belgium, though.
No, yeah, I think if we all just like manifest it into the future, then it will happen. So yeah, let's go. I'm saying England too. Although France is my sweepstake team, so I wouldn't be too disappointed if they won. And one last prediction, Antonio, I'll come to you again. Italian or any nation, can you give me one player that you think we should all keep an eye on this tournament? You know, maybe someone off the radar, maybe a big player, but just someone you're really excited for and that you want us to watch out for this tournament.
I think that the player that needs to be seeded at this tournament specifically is Donnarumma, because Donnarumma is an amazing goalkeeper. Probably, I hope, finger crossed, the next Buffon, but he recently changed his team. He's not in Milan as well. He went to Paris Saint-Germain, so he has now a lot of responsibility on his shoulder. So on this Euro Championship, we will see for real probably if he could be the next Buffon or not, because has a lot on his shoulder because he changed his team and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I will look specifically Donnarumma, yeah. And Sterling literally blew my mind. Sterling was amazing. My mouth was like this. So yeah, that one absolutely.
Nice. Jack, what about you? Can be English, can be any nation, just someone that you're excited for and that you think people should really look out for.
English player, I think there's so many you could pick for England. As we said a few times, we've got such a young squad. Not saying he's under the radar, but I'd probably go with Mason Mount. Obviously, he's not as headline maybe as Phil Foden and Jack Grealish, but I think he's going to be the one that keeps England ticking. I think he's such a good player. I think he's really a really good footballer all around. He's got everything, and I think if success is to be achieved by England this summer, then it'll be Mason Mount.
And Sam, coming to you, can be English, can be anyone.
I know I mentioned Saka earlier, but I won't put you through that pain anymore. I would probably say two from England. I'd say Declan Rice. I think he shows such star quality and he's such a leader on the pitch. I'd say him, and who else would I say? I'd say Foden as well. He's got the haircut now. He's got the confidence in the hair, so he's got confidence in the feet as well, I think. I'd say them two are probably my ones to watch for the competition.
Nice. I would definitely agree with Foden. I'm really, really excited to see him play. I'm probably just as excited to see Grealish, but it seems as if Southgate has a lot more trust in Foden, which we'll probably see him in the starting lineup more often. But another one I'm going to go for is Lukaku. I think he's going to be the winner of the Golden Boot. He has smashed it in Italy this year and he was on fire in their game in match day 1. I think I've got him in my Euro fantasy team as well. I captained him and that was a great choice. I think he's going to really, really shine this tournament and maybe even put Harry Kane to shame, which it's not a nice thing to say, but my God, he's in form. So look, guys, it has been a pleasure doing episode 1 with you guys. I'm so excited. I am off to Wembley, not to watch, just to do a broadcast with my job on Friday for the Scotland game, which I'm super excited for because, like you said, Sam, the buzz is going to be great. Look, I hope we smash Scotland. I really do. Antonio, I hope Italy win their next fixture. And I hope the weather stays nice. I know it said it's supposed to rain, but I feel like the weather is bringing good vibes. So hopefully by the time I do my next one of these, England will be flying high in their group. So will Italy. And yeah, life will be good. So thanks very much, guys. And I will see you all soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for today.
Guys, cheers.